I am a big fan of decentralized monetary cryptocurrency. However, this might be one of the drawbacks. I will openly admit that I don't entirely know what I'm talking about here, but this kind of seems to make sense in the context of not being able to trace different funds going from different people using cryptocurrency and this decentralized ledger and not having the government involved in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a fan of having the government involved, but at the same time, there are some problems that need to get worked out. In this particular instance, one of the crypto kings, a guy named Joe Walence, dubbed as the crypto king, and one of his associates, a guy named William Duplessis, allegedly kidnapped and tortured an Italian Bitcoin millionaire and kept him hostage for 3 weeks inside of one of their Soho townhouses in New York City until he would give up the password to his cryptocurrency. These guys, the people that kidnapped the dude, drugged him, beat him, and he subjected him to electric shocks and even threatened him with death. The accusers also had like this extravagant lifestyle. They spent reportedly $100,000 a night at one of the top New York nightclubs called The Box, I guess. I've never heard of this, but apparently that's a thing in New York City. The problem that I feel like we might run into is, given the fact that extortion and kidnapping people and wire transfers and money can be traced back if the victim chooses to do so through whatever regulated channels the US government has in their banking systems, it means that maybe stuff like this is harder to get away with. But if you have a more decentralized platform that houses money and cryptocurrency and it's super, super difficult to trace back, you kind of don't have the same possibilities to track motives. Like, for example, let's just play this out, okay? So this dude gets kidnapped by the crypto king, who's a billionaire, by the way. I think why is this how he got his $1 billion in cryptocurrency? Just kidnapping and torturing people until they gave up their passwords. He kidnaps him, an associate, allegedly kidnaps this guy and keeps him inside of a house, torturing them for the password. Let's just say hypothetically they finally give up the password and then they let him go. You'd have to have, if you were to go to the cops, you'd have to have some sort of evidence, I guess. And again, I might be totally ignorant of how this works, but from what I understand of the intraceability of cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, say this guy, Michael Carteran, I think he was an Italian guy, say he goes to the cops and said, hey, this stuff happened to me. How does he prove where the money went and what it, like, the other guys are billionaires, they could just deny the entire thing. You know, absent the transfer records that normal banking institutions would have, I don't know what kind of case, and again, could be totally wrong, let me know in the comments. What kind of case would this guy have outside of physical proof that he was kidnapped and tortured? And if he doesn't have that, which it might be difficult to get, these guys clearly, I don't know, maybe they didn't think anything through it, but I would imagine if you've made this much money, especially in kind of a pretty complex algorithmic technological space, I would imagine they're not stupid, but I would imagine they cover all their bases. And the only reason this is coming to light is because this guy made this dramatic blindfolded barefoot escape after being kidnapped for 3 weeks. But if there's no evidence of the actual physical kidnapping torture, how do you know that people aren't just making it up? And also, if you're gonna accuse somebody as high profile as the crypto king, how difficult is that to actually get charged? Because I don't know, that's like saying, I don't know, some crazy conspiracy theory, like, there's several that come to mind, and I'm sure you guys can fill in the blanks, and I think we all probably know what we're talking about. But when you accuse somebody that rich and that powerful of such a caveman-esque type crime, kidnapping and torturing somebody in New York City, that seems so implausible that it would probably be really difficult, barring transaction records, it would be difficult to get that person indicted, charged, tried, convicted. So this is an issue, I think. And maybe I'm missing something, but I would imagine, considering the whole point of decentralized, unregulated monetary systems, is that stuff like this might be really, really difficult to prove, try, get a conviction. I don't know.